Hello everybody.
It's your old pal Brian. It's March 6th and heading down to the lake. The sun's shining. We just had a squall line come through, but it came through in the night and there was no energy to it, so everything's just fine here. It's been 5 days since my birthday, the 1st, and gosh, what a blast. We'll talk about that in a minute. And in a few days, the 8th, I enjoy my 38th wedding anniversary. 38 years, holy crap. 41 together. Yeah, life is good. Although last night sucked. I had to get the RSV vaccine yesterday and woke up somewhere around midnight with the sweats and was up for hours and hours. And when I got back to sleep, of course, you know, it's Wizard of Oz style dreams with flying monkeys and weirdness like that. But I feel pretty good. I'm, you know, a little tired. I'm just glad I don't work anymore, because I'd have to go to work this way, driving a truck and carrying a gun. Shout outs. Howdy ho, rowdies. I hope all is well with you guys. Prayers to two folks that are in my life. My pal Ralph, who I fly with up in Maine. He had a hiccup in a surgical operation, and another radio control buddy, Sand Crab, who is just getting over an illness. I think he's on the backside of it now. I tell you what, flu is no joke. It kills the old and the young, and everybody in between wishes they was dead when you get the actual flu. I mean, it's just bad news. But anyhow, oh, and hi Captain Crunch and George, thanks for giving me the shout out the other day. I see that Karen is driving your boat around. That's awesome. We are 20 days from leaving, 20 or 21 days from leaving for our trip to Europe, and absolutely getting excited. It's going to be an extravaganza. Winter is over here. It'll be 80 today, and I think over the weekend it's going to be in the mid 80s. Speaking of which, I have one last obligation, and that's my nephew and his betrothed girlfriend, wife, and their kid is coming up late Friday and staying through Sunday. Once that's past us, the universe starts speeding up exponentially. It really does. We put off a lot of stuff because of logistics. And as such, we can't really do some things until it's getting close to time to go. So I think today I might slip a few things up underneath my my bed in the rig. That way I can kind of feel like I'm getting ready to do stuff.
Battery critical. Low battery. -7. Battery critical.
The way the logistics work is, and I've discussed this before for you folks that are gluttons for punishment, but
12.5 volts.
what we do is we'll be going to Europe, and then we come back. We got like 5 days before we got to hit the road to go to Maine. And in that time, I think both of us have to go to a doctor's appointment, and the other logistics.
Low battery. -7.
Logistics associated. Now the wind is coming from my left shoulder, so we're going to go ahead and just go on up.
Throttle active. 12.5 volts.
He just got hit by the wind. Yeah. So we'll be home for 5 days, and we got kind of quite a few things to do. Finish loading up the trailer and whatever needs to be done here. and then
12.2
go.
volts.
And it's a whirlwind trip up. I'm not going to be able to see any of my friends on the way up because we're hauling butt. Wifey said we may, very well may, get to see a few friends on the way south, but probably not because we're heading to Alaska the moment we get home, and one of the things you got to be concerned with is equipment failure. So I don't want my equipment dying. If you see what I'm saying, if I visit with friends and that sort of thing, I'm not kind of quickly getting home, and I won't have much in the way of a fudge factor if I have an equipment problem. And that's unfortunately what you have to bet on, is your equipment either working or not working. Yeah, we're going to do a couple hundred miles a day every day, working our way up to Maine, and hurry up and get up there, I-95 style.
11.9 volts.
Had an absolutely amazing birthday. My wife says, what do you want to do? You know, party and friends? And I'm like, no, I want to hang out by my pool with you, my lovely bride of some now 38 years, and have a non-issue, non-event birthday.
Volts.
So I absolutely enjoyed 3 solid days of joy with my wife, and it was just the best. I put my phone in the other room and answered everybody for their just lovely well wishes on Monday, and it is kind of neat. I thought I was going to be dead a long time ago, and I know that sounds trite, but it's true. And to make it to 60 being a gun toter, it's funny because we try to place ourselves in other folks' positions, or sometimes not. And in my case, if you haven't walked in the shoes of a cop, then you don't know anything about it. You don't. I mean, you see some stuff on TV, and it's usually
11.4
fairly negative because positivity doesn't show. I always found great humor that we idolize our cops and nurses, yet we don't have anything nice to say about them. So it's always funny how the human mind works. But yeah, it was hard. Picture this in your tiny little mind. What you're doing, the military has a term for it. They have, for heightened levels of alertness, they call it white, yellow, and red. So white, you're laying around doing nothing, it's all good. Yellow, you go to put your uniform on. Just, putting your uniform on. Now, you hadn't gone out of the house, you ain't done anything. Blood pressure goes up about 100 points. And then you put your uniform on and you hop in the truck. Now your blood pressure goes up even more.
11.3 volts.
Now you haven't encountered anyone or anything or any situation, and you're being bumped up and bumped down through the heightened levels of alertness. Now, I'm oversimplified it with white, yellow, and red, but there's about a half a dozen other colors in there too. And as such, you're being spun up and spun down emotionally 1,000 times a day. You really are. And with all due respect for soldiers who went overseas and did their 4 years or whatever, they suffered very similarly. The reality is that I did it for 30 years. So I certainly am not taking anything away from soldiers at all. In fact, many of our people were previous soldiers. But you're talking about 30 years of not necessarily living in hyper vigilance, but definitely, yeah.
10.8 volts.
Unbelievably hard on your mind. It really is. So early on in my career, they recognized this, which I'm really kind of pleased about. They figured out that you're probably not going to get killed by a bullet. You're probably actually going to get killed by your own vehicle. But how you're gonna die is from stress. That's how you're gonna die. Look at that.
11.2 volts. Throttle hold. Throttle hold.
Let's do another battery. I can blather for another 10 minutes, shockingly enough. So they recognize the stress being a killer, and there was a lot of stress, and I handled it adequately. But you know, the PTSD is on a scale of 1 to 10, and everybody in this life has suffered some form or fashion of PTSD.
3 volts. RSSI critical.
We used to just think shell shocked was for the guys that got hit local. But PTSD occurs from everything after you survive a car accident, surviving abuse, surviving whatever. So I said all that to say this: I'm pleased to see that I'm still here, and I'm in reasonably good repair, which makes me really happy. And my wife too, she was a trauma nurse by trade, later on running entire hospitals. But yeah, it's really neat to still be here and still be in reasonably good repair, because not everybody is enjoying that. One of the guys on the threads is suffering. Taking off.
12.4 volts. 20 seconds.
There's some guy on the...
9, 8,
Yes, hon.
7,
I forgot to reset it.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Timer 1 elapsed.
What I need to do... Yeah, anyway, one of the fellows on our thread suffering, I feel bad for him.
12.1 volts.
I need to go ahead and eliminate this timer. I absolutely have zero use for it whatsoever. It's funny, one of my props, you know, one's on break and one ain't, and apparently there is no tweaking this one with a radio. You got to buy the card, and I'm cheap, so the card that comes from Alibaba is $12, and it'll take 20 some odd days to get here from overseas, and I do not have that. Oh, let's talk about that. Yeah, yesterday, $179 for the beaver. Holy crap, it's all I can do. And then I remembered I'm not going to be here, and I already have a beaver, and I have the parts that need to get replaced on it, mostly. And even more importantly, I want the 2-meter beaver. I mean, it ain't quite as pretty as the Island Dreams, but it's pretty close. My buddy Ralph has that one, and I like it. We unsuccessfully tried to put a gyro on there for him last year. We're gonna have to see how Ralph does as the years go on, because there are solutions, and unfortunately they're not Futaba solutions, but they're solutions. What else? I don't remember whether we talked about this. I think, yeah, we did. My grand dog, I have 2 of them. Stella, the beautiful, elegant Great Dane, and my newest edition grand dog, who's a year old,
11.4 volts.
Rottweiler Des. He's actually just lovely as well. He really is. He's spoiled as hell, though. Oh my goodness, spoiled as hell. Yeah, that he is. They came and stayed, and it was like having a barrel full of monkeys, if you'll remember. Literally like having a barrel full of monkeys.
Volts.
I think chores this morning will include trimming hedges and loading in, like I said, my whoops, they can go ahead and be loaded in. I won't load in my radio and that sort of thing and chargers until we get a little closer. Might even load in my
11.3 volts.
OG timber. Go ahead and remove the floats off of it, and that'll force me to fly. That'll force me to fly my Tundra, which is on floats, and my Beaver out here before I leave. Getting hammered by wind.
11 volts.
Need to exercise this afternoon. We didn't exercise yesterday. Both of us had a little bit of the lurgy. Got to get out of that.
Volts.
That's an osprey or an eagle. Wow, it's big. Let's have a look. I can't really look. Nah, I don't know. It might be. Oh, shoot, that's an eagle. Betcha. Don't know if I'm going to get that on camera or not. It could be a massive
10.9 volts.
turkey vulture though as well. Oh, I don't know. I might be able to see it. Ah, damn it. Can't fly and study birds at the same time. Huh. Oh yeah, I can go ahead and load up my, well no I can't. I was going to say I can, yeah actually I can. I can load up my Mavic Pro Platinum. Yeah, and I think that's saber rattling, by the way, as far as firing DJI from the nation and telling everybody that they're not allowed to fly anymore. That's horse crap. What happens when you get into a legislative season, you know, we're not far from getting another governor in and another president, and yeah, so they got to pretend like they're doing something. It's like church. I'm going to tell you all a little secret about church. Here's how church works. There is no red devil with a forked tongue and ponytail.
10.8 volts.
There isn't. But there's devilish behavior.
Battery.
But if you kind of scare everybody into thinking that there's a red devil waiting to get you, then you can put a butt in a pew, right? That's how church works. So there's devilish behavior, certainly, in the form of humans, but there's no real devil. I don't want to shock y'all. The way politics works, similarly, you got to have a foe to fight. If you don't have a foe to fight, nobody's going to pay attention to you. Now they call stuff
Low battery.
clickbait, right? So they're going to jump on the DJI China phobia bandwagon. I'm going to tell you all a little secret about China. I've said this on here before. We're married to them, always been married to them, and since Nixon, and we'll continue to be married to them. No change.
10.8 volts.
Landing.
Throttle.
Gosh, that was fun. So we just need to negotiate back and forth with those folk and try to keep them at bay. But we're married to them. This is a world economy. What else? Yeah, so they're going to have to find foes to fight and demons to exercise. Yeah, that is how that works. What else? Shout outs. Virginia Bareback Boy, as always. It's always funny to me. He told me the other day, he says, you know, I don't always comment on your stuff, but I watch it. It's okay.
Telemetry lost.
Our thread founder, and I were actually talking this morning about the demise of the treehouse. I couldn't remember the players because it's been so long, but it's like, you know, Joel and Hugo Fly now, I think, was maybe the administrator of it. Who was left? Asir. Captain Crunch. I don't know, man, maybe one or two others, but yeah, it collapsed. So I think Hugo Fly now is back in our main thread. Good morning, sunshine. Hi. Yeah, that shed's gone. That's awesome. But yeah, M. Finn, he's doing hockey with his kid and working his brains out and going being a special education teacher, which right there will get you in heaven. Who else is on there? Of course, Tennessee River Lover, Idaho. But yeah, shout out to all the regulars. I hope everything is going good in your respective worlds. And I'm sure I'll be back down at the lake here and there. I think next week I'm going to try to get out to the flying club one last time. And then I will start packing the rest of my stuff up. The Mavic Mini is going to go over to Europe with me. And worst case is I'll use the, I got the Fly More package, and it has 8,000 milliamp hour worth of battery and a USB connector. Holy crap. So that is going in my backpack, and I can use it to as a battery charger for my phones and stuff while we're out running around. So I like that, and that can make it on the airplane legal. I think I get up to 10,000 milliamp hour. So I'm just fine on bringing that thing on board. And if I'm lucky, you know, I get to fly it in Scotland or Ireland or, excuse me, Stonehenge or places like that. London is out. So there's that. All right, guys, thanks for listening to my piffle, and I'll see you when I see you.